the season-long victor.
I knew I was going to make that putt, and then let's go to the next hole and birdie that hole. You know, you kind of have to be in that mindset. I live in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Money goes a long ways there. It's not like I'm spending money out the wazoo every week. I don't need a lot to be happy. I don't need a lot to live within my means.
And they flip it to Presley. Presley, sidestep, touchdown OSU. The leading receiver from 2022 puts the Cowboys. Hand off. It's Elijah Collins breaking free for a touchdown. His first in a Cowboy uniform. 17-yard scamper to the end zone for the Michigan State transfer. The middle of that. Pushes it in for a touchdown. Second rushing touchdown of the night for OSU.
Sideline, but
Nathan Brown had his Bears ready to play tonight.
Ahead of us, I told the team each week the talent level will continue to get better and better. We have a good starting point now. Got to go to work this week, have a good week of practice.
With a lot of open field.
Play action to Stoops, and that's a quick touchdown. Drake Stoops marches in, and just like that, boom. Arnold, tempo, back corner, off the Kim, touchdown. Jaden Gibson, right over the top of Leon Jones. At a Winter Garden, Florida. Here in Norman, he's doing quite nicely. Thank you very much.
And the perfect start for the quarterback, the 5-star.
The OSU Cowgirls basketball team defeated the women of Wyoming in the Battle of the Cowgirls Sunday by a score of 78-62. The Cowgirls from OSU got off to a hot start early as they only allowed 6 points in the first quarter to Wyoming. The first quarter would ultimately be the difference as the 12-point differential was much larger than any in the rest of the game. Lior Garzon was OSU's leading scorer on the night with 24 points as Staley Hurd added 19 of her own. Wyoming's top scorer was Marin McKenna with 15. With the win, the Cowgirls improved their record to 4-3 on the year. With the loss, Wyoming falls to 4-3 as well. Wyoming faces one of their toughest opponents on the year next, taking on number 22, Creighton. Oklahoma State heads back to Gallagher-Iba as Texas State comes to town on Saturday. For the Poke Report, I'm Tim Froehlich. The Oklahoma State men's basketball team takes on the number 15 ranked Creighton Blue Jays tonight at Gallagher-Iba Arena. This is one of the games of the battle of the Big East and Big 12 Conference. The Cowboys are coming off 2 straight wins as they're now an even 3-3 on the year.
Cowboys do a good job working.
The Cowboys have not had the season that they were hoping for as they've had injury problems since the beginning of the season. Senior guard Bryce Thompson has been sidelined the previous 2 games, and they will also be without redshirt freshman Isaiah Miranda. Creighton coach Greg McDermott says this Oklahoma State team is much different than people think.
This is a team, if they were healthy from the jump, they'd be 6-0 and everybody would be talking about how good they are. But they've had to deal with some injuries and some guys out of the lineup. And now that they're back, I think we're going to have to play a heck of a game.
Creighton comes in with a 5-1 record after suffering a 69-48 loss at the hands of Colorado State in their previous game, dropping them 7 spots in the AP poll. The Blue Jays have shot 50% from the field and are shooting 39% from three-point range. Led by senior guard Baylor Shireman, who is averaging nearly 20 points per game while shooting 48% from the field and 40% from three-point land. Cowboys coach Mike Boynton knows the challenge they face in this matchup, noting the Blue Jays' ability shooting from 3.
Can't never let your guard down in terms of defending the 3, getting back in transition, and obviously taking care of basketball, so you limit there are more extra opportunities that they have to score.
With losses to mid-major teams like St. Bonaventure and Abilene Christian, and a loss to an underwhelming Notre Dame team, the Cowboys will be facing their toughest challenge yet. An upset for the Cowboys will give them the spark that they need on their season, as Creighton looks to bounce back from their loss to Colorado State. Tip-off is set for 8 o'clock as streaming is available on ESPN2. With the Poke Report, I'm Tim Froehlich. The OSU men's basketball team heads home from Carbondale after a 70-68 loss at the hands of the Salukis of Southern Illinois.
Ball from Carbondale.
This place is packed. Wait for the Cowboys.
The Cowboys now drop to 3-5 on the year, and things are beginning to look grim if the team expects a bid to the NCAA tourney in March. This was the second time in as many years that the Pokes have suffered a single-digit loss to the Salukis, as they lost last year by a score of 61-60.
10 seconds left. Avery calling for it. It's in Thompson's hands. 17-footer short. Salukis rebound, and they're going to win it here at Gallagher-Iba.
Steal. Johnson. Xavier Johnson for 2.
Despite Cowboys junior guard Javon Small scoring 25, the biggest story of the night was Southern Illinois' Xavier Johnson, who scored 32 in the win. This was Johnson's third game already in the season, scoring 30-plus points, as he leads all of Division I in that statistic. SIU coach Brian Mullins was pleased with his team's performance as the Salukis improved to 6-2 on the year with the win.
Happy we were able to protect home court. It was a great college basketball game. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't always pretty, but I thought our guys really competed and made enough winning plays there at the end to get the result we wanted.
OSU season has not gone the way that they anticipated. In fact, the 3-5 start is the worst since 1986. The Cowboys return to Gallagher-Iba this Sunday against Tulsa as they look to turn their season around. Tip-off is set for 5:30 p.m. For the Poke Report, I'm Tim Froehlich. The number 18 Oklahoma State Cowboys were dismantled in the Big 12 Championship Saturday by the number 7 Texas Longhorns. The Longhorns got things started quick as they scored less than 3 minutes into the game on their first drive. The Longhorns would go up 14-0 within the first 7 minutes of the quarter, scoring on both of their offensive drives. Brennan Presley would keep the Cowboys faithful optimistic, however, scoring a 5-yard touchdown to put the Cowboys on the board. Nick Martin gave OSU its biggest play on defense with an interception and a return into Longhorn territory. The Pokes would score on a 7-yard touchdown pass from Alan Bowman to Rashad Owens to cut the deficit to 14. The Longhorns' offense was too much for the Cowboys' defense, however, as they took a commanding 35-14 lead heading into halftime. After the half, the Longhorns kept rolling and made it clear to the committee they wanted to play for the national championship, as the Longhorns took care of the Cowboys 49-21. This was the Longhorns' 4th Big 12 title in school history. Longhorns coach Steve Sarkisian was more focused on winning the Big 12 championship and celebrating than anticipating their placement in the college football playoff.
And couldn't be happier for Longhorn Nation. I know that it's been a long time coming. I know everybody's been starving for this championship, and so to get it on our final game in the Big 12, I hope everybody enjoys this as much as we do.
Texas now faces Washington in the Sugar Bowl as they look to advance to the national championship. Meanwhile, OSU will meet Texas A&M in the Texas Tax Act Bowl. For the Poke Report, I'm Tim Froehlich.